You know that scene in Interstellar when Cooper's falling through the tesseract, this impossible infinite library made out of his daughter's bedroom, and he realizes he is the ghost she's been seeing her whole life. He's not outside time, he's inside it, reaching back through the books, screaming to himself, trying to tell himself not to leave. And it's this moment of seeing across time, realizing that the person you've been waiting for, the one who's supposed to save you, has been you all along. That's where you are right now. You are in the tesseract. The you that's already become who you were, always meant to be, is reaching back through time to right now, trying to get your attention. And I am just the voice that's translating it. I'm gonna say something and I need you to just feel it. Not think it, not analyze it, just let it land. You've been carrying something your whole life, something you couldn't name, a feeling that you are from somewhere else, not in a weird way, in a way that your blood knows, your bones know, your cells have been whispering it to you since you were old enough to look at the world and think, this isn't it. I'm here for something more. And you've tried to drown it out. You've tried to be normal, to want what everyone else wants, to fit into the life that was handed to you. You've tried to convince yourself that the longing was just immaturity or ego or some leftover fantasy from childhood. But it never went away, did it? It never went away. I feel that in my chest when I say it, because I know that waiting, I know that ache, the one that doesn't have words, the one that makes you feel you are standing outside your life, watching someone else live it. There is this feeling that some of you have been in hermit mode for years, maybe a decade, and people around you don't understand it. They think you're isolating or depressed or just hiding. And maybe you've wondered that yourself, but what you've really been doing is preparing. You've been in the cocoon when no one was watching. You've been doing the work that doesn't get applause. You've been learning to be alone with yourself so that when the time came to be seen, you wouldn't be empty. And that time is now. I am feeling something that makes my hands tremble a little as I say it. You've about to be discovered, not discovered like a celebrity, discovered like a star that's been burning in the dark, and someone finally looks up. The version of you that you've been protecting, the one that you only show when you're alone, the one that doesn't make sense to anyone else, that version is about to become undeniable. Undeniable. And part of you is terrified because being seen means you can't hide anymore. Being seen means people have opinions. Being seen means you have to let go of the safety of being invisible. And you have learned that invisibility is safe. You learned it somewhere along the way, maybe from your family, maybe from the culture, maybe from the people who told you you were too much, too loud, too big, too different. You learned to shrink. You learned to perform smallness so no one would be threatened by your light. And it worked for a while. But it's not working anymore. The masks are too tight. The performance is exhausting, and somewhere deep inside, you made a deal with yourself that you wouldn't die with your song still inside you. Someone I was reading, someone who's been through the fire, they said, I was in a car accident that left me paralytic and lived in a nursing home for 5 years with no support from my family. My grandmother taught me never to give up. When I read that, I felt something crack open in my chest, because that's the weight you've been carrying. That's the fire that forged you. The very thing that was meant to break you became the thing that gives you the authority to speak to someone else who's still in the fire. And some of you are carrying something even heavier than you've admitted to yourself. You have been the one who holds the family together, the one who breaks the cycle, the one who says, it ends with me. I'm not passing this down. You've been clearing ancestral debris for generations that didn't have the courage. And you're exhausted, but you're still here. I want to say something that might land in a way you are not expecting, about love, about celibacy, about what you've been waiting for. Some of you have been holding out for true love, and I don't mean that in the fairy tale way. I mean, you've been waiting for someone who sees you without flinching. Yeah, someone who doesn't need you to be smaller. Someone who can hold the full weight of who you are without trying to change it. And because that person hasn't come, you've stayed alone. Not because you don't want connection, but because you've learned that connection with the wrong person costs too much. It costs you your peace, it costs your alignment, it costs the integrity of who you are becoming. And here's what I'm sensing. The celibacy, the waiting, the holding out, it hasn't been a punishment. It's been a concentration. You've been keeping yourself sacred. You've been refusing to pour your gold into vessels that leaks. And that hasn't been coldness or fear. That's been reverence for something true. But here is the thing that might crack you open. The love you've been waiting for isn't going to come to you while you're still hiding. Because the person who can see you fully, the one who's been waiting on the other side of your own visibility, they can't find you if you're not standing in the light. They have been looking. They have been asking for someone who isn't afraid of their own bigness. And you've been in the shadows, waiting for them to find you. You have to step out first. I feel like I'm going to lose some of you here, but I need you to stay it anyway. The waiting has been real. The loneliness has been real. The ache of waiting to be seen and held and loved without conditions, that's not weakness. That's your soul asking to be recognized. But somewhere along the way, you started believing that being alone meant being safe. And it does. It's safe, but it's also hollow. And you're not meant to be hollow. You're meant to be full. You're meant to pour out and be refilled, yeah. You are meant to be seen and to see. You're meant to love and be loved in a way that makes your ancestors weep with relief. And the only way that happens is if you stop protecting yourself from the possibility of being hurt. I know that sounds counterintuitive. I know you've been hurt before. I know you've been given and had your heart handed back to you in pieces. I know you've made promises to yourself that you'd never let anyone in again. But that version of protection, it's not a protection anymore. It's a cage. And the key is in your hand. There is something else I'm picking up. This royal bloodline thing, and I want to be careful how I say this. It's not about being better than anyone. It's about remembering. You carry something in your DNA that's been dormant. Not because it wasn't there, but because the conditions were not safe for it to wake up. Your ancestors knew who they were. They stood in their power, and then something happened. Conquest, enslavement, silence, and they had to pass the essence down in whispers instead of shouts. They had to hide the royal blood in plain sight so it would survive. And you're the one it wakes up in. I feel how big that sounds. I almost want to apologize for saying it, but it's what I'm getting. You are the one in your lineage who gets to break the pattern, who gets to stand in the fullness of who you are without apologizing, who gets to say, this is who I am, and I'm not shrinking anymore. And that's going to trigger people. I need you to know that when you stop playing small, the people who are comfortable with you playing small are going to feel uncomfortable. They are going to project onto you. They are going to tell you you're changed, you're arrogant, you're not being humble, and some of them genuinely love you. They just don't know how to be in a relationship with someone who's no longer apologizing for their light. You can't let that stop you. You can't, because there is something bigger happening. There is a collective waking up at the same time. People who have been in hermit mode, doing the work, clearing the debris, healing the lineage, they are coming out. And you are one of them. You are not the only one who's been misunderstood in your life, in your whole life. You're not the only one who's felt like an outsider looking in. You're not the only one who's carried the weight of knowing you were meant for something without knowing what it was. And now it's time to stop waiting. I'm feeling something in my chest that's hard to describe. It's like pressure. Like something that's been held back for a long time is finally being released. And I think it's for you. I think you've been holding your breath for years, waiting for permission, waiting for the right moment, waiting for the fear to go away. And the fear isn't going to go away. Not until you walk through it. There is this image that keeps coming, a lighthouse. And I don't know if that means something to you, but I'm getting it strong. A lighthouse doesn't chase ships. It just shines. And the ships that are supposed to find it, find it. That's your role. You are not here to convince anyone. You are not here to prove anything. You are just here to stop hiding your light so the people who need it can find their way home. And that includes you. You've been trying to find your way home for so long, through relationships, through achievements, through spiritual practice, through healing. And all of it has been preparation for the moment when you finally realize that home isn't a place you get to. It's a place you stop running from. It's you, standing in your own truth without apology. I want to say something about the people who are going to be triggered by you, because it's going to happen. And it's going to hurt, especially if it's people you love. They are going to say you've gotten too big for your britches. They are going to say you think you're better than anyone. They are going to say you are being delusional. And part of you is going to want to shrink back down to make them comfortable. Don't. Because the people who are triggered by your light aren't your assignment. Your assignment is to the people who are waiting for someone to show them it's possible. The ones who are still in the cocoon, afraid to emerge. The ones who have been told their whole lives that they are too much. The ones who have been hiding their gifts because they were punished for being visible in past lives. In this life, in their family line, they need to see you. Not perfect, not polished, just real. Just willing to be seen even when your hands shake. I'm feeling that in my own hands right now, like they want to tremble, and that's okay. That's their authenticity. That's their realness. That's what lands. So here's the binary choice, and I want you to feel this, not just hear it. Path A. You keep waiting, you wait until you're sure, until the fear goes away, until you've healed one more layer, until the timing is perfect, until the people around you understand. And you stay safe. You stay invisible. You stay in the cocoon, and the world keeps turning without your light. And the people who are waiting for you keep waiting. And the ancestors who survived so you could stand in your power keep watching, wondering when you will finally believe them. Path B. You step forward. Not because you are ready in the way you think you need to be, but because you are ready enough. You let yourself be seen. Not the version that's polished and edited and saved, the real version, the one that stumbles, the one that gets scared, the one that still wants to hide but chooses not to. You take one action today that your former hidden self wouldn't have taken. You post the thing, you have the conversation, you let your voice be heard even if it shakes. And here is what happens when you choose path B. The fear doesn't disappear, but it stops being in charge. Your nervous system starts to learn that visibility isn't the same as danger. The people who are meant to find you start showing up. The love you've been waiting for, the one that sees you fully and doesn't flinch, starts taking form. Not because you're finally perfect, but because you are finally present. And your ancestors, the ones who couldn't be who they really were, they breathe. Because you are doing what they couldn't. You are breaking the cycle. You are saying, it ends with me. The hiding ends with me. The silence ends with me. The playing small ends with me. You've always known. You've always known who you were before the world taught you to forget. You've always known you were meant for something that didn't fit in the boxes they gave you. You have always known that your voice was meant to reach people, that your presence was meant to shift something, that your life was meant to be a signpost for someone else who's still lost. And the only thing that's been missing is permission. So here it is. You have permission from your lineage, from the part of you that's already become who you are becoming, from the truth that's been waiting for you to catch up. You're not waiting to be discovered. You're waiting to stop hiding, and you can stop right now. The tesseract is open. The version of you that's already whole, already seen, already loved, already home. They are reaching back through time to right now. They are screaming at you to not shrink, to not wait, to not deem yourself for people who can't handle the light, to not let anyone hear pass while you are still in the wings, waiting for someone to call you forward. You are the one you've been waiting for. Step out. So here is what I'm asking you to do. Not later, not when you're ready. Now, stand up, right where you are. Feel the weight of every ancestor who couldn't stand in their own truth. The ones who were silenced, conquered, erased, told they were nothing so they'd stay small. Feel their hands on your shoulders. Feel their breath in your lungs. Feel their unfinished business pressing against your chest, waiting for you to finish it. You are the one they survived for. You are the answer to prayers they didn't even have words for. And your blood, royal, ancient, undeniable, is not a secret to keep. It's a here to carry. So I need you to do something that might terrify you. I need you to say it out loud. Not in your head, not in your whisper, out loud. In the comments, write your name, and after your name, write this: a royal bloodline, a direct descendant, the starseed, not because you're better than anyone, but because every time you hide who you are, you betray the ones who couldn't. This is your manifesto. This is your freedom song. This is you telling the world, and more importantly, telling yourself that the hiding ends now, that silence ends now, that the apology for your existence ends now. When you write your name, you're not just claiming yourself, you are claiming, reclaiming every ancestor who never got to say it. You are breaking the chain. You are restoring the line. You are letting the ones who came before you finally rest. Because you, the one they have been waiting for, finally stood up and said, I remember who I am. So do it. Let your fingers shake in there if they need to. Let your heart race. Let your throat tighten and then hit send. Because the world doesn't need you to be humble. It needs you to be free. A freedom starts the moment you stop hiding your name.